to have some funsies. 20 seconds on the board. When not, next week, same time, Fredapad. And I want to see you. Now that I might drive. Yes. Yes. If I can. Yes, you should. You should. And there are the red lights. Here we go. Here we go. Green flag. As we run down the line. And Medina doesn't have the best of the start against Lynch, who is setting himself side by side to the inside, making the move into P2, while Caterham is losing it. Losing the car, unfortunately. But that's not it just yet. Here in the front, we have a almost 3 wide. Jodake, Aufschneider, Orlovsky all in the run for some points, for some very important points. And Aufschneider has the inside there, drives Orlovsky out of the time, and now keeps on closing in on Jodake. I love it. Medina, Lynch, and Janak still quite close with each other. Closest battle on the grid currently, but there might be something happening very, very soon between Orlovsky and Aufschneider. The battle for P6. They're all very, very close. And in the mix, Medina tries to challenge for Lynch for P2 currently. And he throws it in here and there. He tries, looks a bit into the inside there. But no. He is not ready for that just yet. And Medina now. Good night. Mofal, bye-bye. And Medina going over onto the grass, losing precious time and places as well. Going back to P7 as we run with Orlovsky, who is still quite there, up there in the mix against Aufschneider in the American livery. What a beauty. Jodake fastest lap. But, of course, not even Janak. Jodake fastest lap, that's quite something. Orlovsky breaks. There was a bit of a lock-up, but also from Aufschneider there in P5 in the front. And we're closing in on the battle. Everything is still very neat and tight here in the front as Janak drives out of the second, but Orlovsky won't have much time to focus on Aufschneider because he has to focus on Medina right in the back in P7. He wants to have a run for P6, and there is a little bit of touch, but that looked a bit netcody to me. I'm not sure they are just driving a bit harder here, and Medina makes the move into P6. Beautiful. Round the outside, he has the faster. He is faster overall and seems to just run away with it. As for Aufschneider and Jodake, the battle is up here. 457 Racing Team against... that is a good question now. Jodake is signed up under Muffler Shop Racing, so I am kind of obligated to root. I'm not obligated to root for him, and I feel like I want to see a battle between the two here in the front. And I don't root for anybody here, even if they drive under Muffler Shop Racing, which I like very much, but I'm not rooting. I'm not rooting for them. Gallego also in P3, but at the moment very safely in P3 here. Not very, very close to Lynch. He hates him. No. I do not hate. I think. Not sure. I might hate some things in life, but not Jodake. And oh, Caterham, what a move! Has the inside. The switcheroo is coming in. And he has landed it. What a move. Against Kamara. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now going back to the front, and Orlovsky, I already seen it. He is quite close to the battle there. And Medina closes up on Aufschneider as well. And will he try something of funny business? Aufschneider touches the grass there a bit. Medina goes through, sweeps into P5. As Aufschneider has to take... Oh, and Medina goes off again. Aufschneider and Orlovsky run through. That is very, very unfortunate for Medina, and he might not be done losing places as Caterham is getting closer and closer. Now again, side by side versus Orlovsky and Aufschneider. Still side by side. Very, very much. Very close indeed. But I think that battle is not over yet, as we have a bit of a look on Yordake in P4. Probably challenging for P3 for the podium in just a moment. We are in the slipstream, and it's opening up for Yordake, and he says, no, 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 thank you. I am staying on the outside here. Gallego has the nose in the front, outbrakes him, but outbrakes himself by quite a big margin, and Gallego goes back into P3. We are still side by side, and that battle is brewing. And Yordake, he might have to try something very, very experimental here to make the move. Gallego is not making that easy on him, as we are also losing a bit of the time in front, which is Lynch, and it seems like we're still side by side. We're still running side by side for few corners now as we go down the Dunlop. What is it, a bow maybe? I don't know. As Yordake, oh, what a... Okay. Okay, Gallego had to go off throttle there. Maybe even slightly touch the brake. And Yordake runs through with it. Aufschneider, Orlovsky. Is that still happening? It's still kind of in the mix, the battle for P5. Here on Jarama, penultimate race of the season. And Medina is back. Medina is not back for seconds, but even for thirds at this point. And he has the pace. I think he's just a bit too stormy. He tries too much, and then he misses. He misses the turn a bit, goes over, goes into the gravel, and loses 2 places in the mix. Janak with the fastest lap with a 44.3. Like on the scale, just to give you a bit of a comparison, Janak is doing a 44.7, was his fastest. Medina is actually the fastest in the free practice with a 44.5, as Janak just did a 44.3. That is 0.2 faster as Medina in the free practice, who is now fighting Orlovsky, and it seems like there is a bit of, maybe a bit of nervousness here in Medina, as he lost places twice now for overshooting and going into the gravel, trying to outplay the opponent, and he is back en route for Aufschneider. Closest battle currently is Gallego Yordake, and it's probably happening very, very soon, as we also have the battle Medina Aufschneider and Caterham Orlovsky. Everybody is still very much in the mix. Have to say, Saukatis in P11 and Arcega in P10 might be a bit out. Kamara as well with 6 seconds off. But overall in the front here, a lot of points can still be picked up by just fighting. And Orlovsky is very, very close to Medina now. I think he has to make the move very, very soon, because Caterham is not far away either, and that is another fastest lap for Janak with a 44.2. He could better himself by another 10th, and that's just the Janak we know. Yordake is still in the mix with the best lap with a 44.296. Very, very close to him. He just has to make the move against Gallego. Caterham trying to make the move, but just hitting Orlovsky at the outside there, And Orlovsky also making a very, very neat defense there. Trying to stay on the inside and blocking that off for Caterham. And Caterham, he tries. And I think he has the upper hand for this one. Might have the nose in the front end. Orlovsky actually pulls out of the fight. And Caterham makes the move into P7. Next one is Medina. But let's join the battle for the podium. Gallego versus Yordake. Yordake in the yellow. And the moment I say it, Yordake overtakes himself. Like, overestimates himself and goes onto the gravel. Gallego making the move. Yordake trying for the outside move here. Wow. Wow. What a show off. But it looked very, very good. And he is trying again. He has to use the outside here. Gallego doesn't give him much chances to go for an inside sweep into the podium. And that podium wants to be fought over. And Yordake tries it again for the outside. And to be honest, that looks very, very good. But the inside is still there. Nah. We are again side by side for several turns now. And that is just mind-blowing racing here. How we haven't had a big crash between the two drivers here is mind-blowing. We had a few, we definitely might have rubbed some elbows. Nothing on the incident chart though, so all good, I guess. But there is the move to the inside again. And Gallego does not loosen his grip on the third place. Yordake has a beautiful run out of that turn. Onto here. Now very, very careful how much you throw in the car. How much you touch the gravel, because that can slow you down extensively. We have seen it with Medina. He was up there, P4, P5. Touch the gravel, go over a bit. You immediately lose 2 places. And that's the cool thing, because everything is so neat and close still. Lots of people here are in the second of each other. Or at least very, very close to be in the second of each other. In that beautiful race that is still gonna go for 7.5 more minutes. And Yordake says, Gallego, that was awesome. And, oh well, Yordake, don't type too much in chat. This could be your downfall. You never know. And Caterham Medina. 2 very well-known characters. Nitro Knights, so to speak. Battling for P6 here on Jarama. And where are they? Where are they in the end? Medina is on P6. Caterham on P9. So Caterham definitely needs some points here. And he could try for it. Try to trap Medina into a battle. And I do see Aufschneider there in the front, slowing down just a tiny bit. Aufschneider in P5 was quite secure a few moments ago. But now it's slowing down a bit, and Medina and Caterham getting into the front there. Caterham has a better run out of that turn, and again, a better run out of that turn. And Medina sees Caterham in the rear view mirror and thinks, I have to do something, floors it, slightly loses the car, and that lost him even more time. And there, Medina slightly going wide, losing pressure seconds, and Caterham, he has it locked in. Look at that. Could he set it side by side with it? It looks also to be a bit of a ping issue here, because the cars are going faster and slower. Oh yeah, Caterham for sure has some ping issues here. That is some connection issue 101. And Medina has to pull out of that battle. Throws a bit of a block there to Orlovsky, and that battle is back on. A bit sad that we have to see an overtake with an internet connection issue. That is not cool, but I mean, you can't really do much about that. Caterham 5 connection issue points so far as he gets closer to Aufschneider. Medina still in the mix. He gets back into it. He is 2/10 faster than Caterham. Caterham almost the same pace as Aufschneider. As Gallego, 1/10 slower, but currently in P4 here, very comfortable. Seems to be running much, much more consistent laps than Aufschneider, Caterham, or Medina. Also, they are trapped in fights there for 6th place, 4, 5, 5th place. But Gallego is running alone now, as Yodaka has broken off to a new adventure, and that adventure is Lynch, who is running there in the front of him in the blue car. Janak as well, but Janak is running so far in the front that I feel those 6 to 7 seconds, 8 at this point, are not going to be easy to catch up, if not impossible, if Janak doesn't make a mistake. That could be very, very bad for him. But Janak, if he is running in the front, he rarely has huge mess-ups. It's usually just backmarkers that come about and ruin something. But the battle is on for P4 this time. Aufschneider is picking up the pace, and he's understanding the Caterham more and more. This is his first Caterham race in this championship, and he is well in the mix with Caterham, with Gallego, people, Nitro Knights, who have been driving this sort of race like every step of the way. We have Caterham with 3 finished races out of 6. We have Gallego with 4 finished races out of 6. Most races done in this championship has been Medina in P6 currently. P1 is in the standings, of course, not in this race. We know in this race, Janak is P1 currently. But in general, with 4 finished races and 3 out of that being wins, is Chapman, who we haven't seen for a while. He might have to sit 2 races out, but he is still very comfortable in his seat, in his throne up there in P1 with 93 seconds, only being contested by Venuti, who currently has 32 points less. If Venuti would have driven this, he might have still had a chance, but I think the winner is already set. It's going to be Chapman. There is no point in thinking much about who could win this still. Or I might be wrong about this. Actually. I'm sorry, I might be wrong about this. Janak has a chance of winning this. If Nordschleife fills up, then Janak might be able to make that move. I do missed a lot of the Gallego Aufschneider race here for P4. I saw them switching places here and there. Medina Caterham, it's 3 seconds in between. That's not really a battle currently, but we can check into that later. Yodaka Lynch is also happening at some point. 1.5 seconds out of each other currently, as the last minute is going to run its course in 10 seconds. And I do believe that we are on the penultimate lap. After that, we will run the last lap, and then it's on. And then it's on. Aufschneider might now have a chance, but you have to be so careful. You do see that the guy in front of you is messing up, and you want to catch up with him. You drop the throttle slightly too much, and the car just has a mind on its own and starts to sweep the tail out from under you. And now Aufschneider is trying for Gallego. And by the way, Aufschneider is keeping faster times than Gallego currently. Only slightly faster times. And there's a little bit of a boots. Aufschneider saying, hey, it's my turn. Come on. Keep it up. We want to battle here. And this is going to be the last lap, as the last 10 seconds are over in a bit. And I don't want to stress people, but this is the last battle for P4. And Caterham! Caterham gets into the picture, says, here, I am still here. I am also in the fight still. You guys have forgotten about me. No, he's here in his green Nitro Knights livery, trying to get some points out of Aufschneider and Gallego. And while they're battling, of course, he caught up to them. And now Aufschneider is drifting the car a bit. Of course, that's allowed on the last lap here. Just donuts are not allowed. Actually, I'm not sure if donuts are allowed or not on Nitro Knight races.
Style points.
Absolute style points from Aufschneider here. And Caterham tries for the outside there. And there's only a few more laps left in this battle. It has to happen soon. But first, we're going for Janak, who wins the first race in the Nitro Knights battle. In the Nitro Knights Caterham 7 club. And I think there's not much changing here. Or is there? Or is there? No. Very, very close. But no, actually, no overtake there at the end. Gallego stays on 4th place. Congrats to Yodaka for the podium, of course. Muffler Shop Racing has kind of a... Well, they do seem to land on the podium quite often. Except today. For me. But Lynch, 2nd. What a beautiful track. I agree. I agree. I wanted to really drive it with the Ginetta GT4 back when Harama 6 Hour was up. But they kind of pulled the plug. Might have to do that. 40... we'll see about that, won't we? We'll see about that. But here we are. I think Medina is there, so we can actually... This time, we don't have to wait 8 minutes, because I feel like we can immediately grid again, because Caterham is PK Door, and that should be the admin. If that isn't the admin, then I think Medina is. One of them has the admin account, so... But I think it might be